If you're ready to break free from the chaos of life and find real clarity, hit that subscribe button and join me on this journey. Let's dive into something raw and real today. I wish someone had told me this earlier. Life's too short to waste on things that don't matter. I learned that the hard way, staring at my phone screen for 12 hours a day, drowning in notifications, comparison, and endless scrolling. My mind was a mess, my relationships were crumbling, and I was stuck in a cycle of anxiety that felt like a prison. That was me 3 years ago, before I picked up Don't Sweat the Small Stuff by Richard Carlson. One line hit me like a lightning bolt. You are what you think about most of the time. It was a wake-up call. I realized I was letting meaningless distractions steal my life, and I was done. Picture this. I'm 27, living in a cramped apartment, working a job I hated, and spending every free second glued to my phone. I'd scroll through Instagram, comparing my life to influencers who seemed to have it all. I'd binge YouTube videos until 3 a.m., convincing myself I was learning something. But the truth? I was numb. My friends stopped inviting me out because I was always busy on my phone. My girlfriend at the time told me I was more in love with my screen than with her. And she wasn't wrong. I'd lost myself in a digital haze, and I didn't even realize it until I hit rock bottom. One night I was up late, scrolling through X, when I saw a post that stopped me cold. It was a statistic. The average person spends 4 years of their life on their phone. 4 years. That hit me harder than anything. I did the math. 12 hours a day meant I was on track to waste even more than that. I felt sick. That's when I stumbled across Don't Sweat the Small Stuff. Carlson's words cut deep. When you let go of the little things, you create space for what really matters. I'd been sweating everything, the likes, the follows, the comments, while my real life was slipping away. I started looking back at my choices. I'd canceled plans with friends to binge Netflix. I'd ignored my mom's calls because I was too busy arguing with strangers online. I'd even missed a deadline at work because I was distracted by a viral TikTok. My life was a highlight reel of regrets, all because I was obsessed with the small stuff. Stuff that didn't matter. Carlson's book made me see that I wasn't living. I was just existing, trapped in a loop of stress and distraction. The turning point came when I decided to confront my phone addiction head-on. I tracked my screen time for a week, and the numbers were brutal. 84 hours. That's 12 hours a day, every day, wasted on nothing. I felt like I'd been punched in the gut. I was 27, and I'd already lost months of my life to mindless scrolling. I thought about Carlson's advice. Choose your battles wisely. My battle wasn't with the algorithm, it was with myself. I had to take back control. So I started small. I deleted Instagram for a week. Just a week, I told myself, to see what would happen. The first day was torture. I'd reach for my phone every 5 minutes, like an addict looking for a hit. But by day 3, something shifted. I noticed the world around me, the way the sunlight hit my coffee mug, the sound of birds outside my window. I started journaling, something I hadn't done since high school. I wrote about my fears, my dreams, and the life I wanted to build. For the first time in years, I felt alive. That week turned into a month. I replaced scrolling with reading, starting with Carlson's book. Another line stuck with me. Life is a test, and you're being graded right now. I realized I was failing. I wasn't showing up for my own life. I was letting the small stuff, likes, notifications, trends, steal my focus from what mattered. My relationships, my goals, my sanity. I started saying no to things that didn't serve me. No to late-night scrolling. No to toxic group chats. No to comparing myself to strangers online. By the end of that month, I was down to 4 hours of screen time a day. Not perfect, but progress. I reconnected with friends I'd ghosted. I called my mom and actually listened. I even started working out again, something I'd abandoned for years. Carlson's words echoed in my head. Don't let the small stuff steal your happiness. I wasn't free yet, but I was on my way. My mind was clearer. My heart was lighter, and for the first time in forever, I felt like I was living for me, not for the algorithm. The shift didn't happen overnight. Breaking free from the grip of distraction was like clawing my way out of quicksand. Every step forward felt heavy, but I knew I couldn't go back. Don't Sweat the Small Stuff by Richard Carlson was my lifeline, and one line kept echoing in my head. You don't have to control everything to find peace. I'd spent years trying to control my image, my notifications, my feed, thinking it would make me happy. But it didn't. It just left me empty. So, I built a plan. A real, actionable way to reclaim my time and my mind. Here's how I did it, step by step, and how you can too. First, I audited my time like a detective hunting for clues. I used an app called Screen Time on my iPhone. It's built in, no download needed. For Android users, try Digital Wellbeing. I tracked every minute I spent on my phone for a week. The results were brutal. 40% of my time went to social media, 30% to YouTube, and the rest to random apps I didn't even care about. I was shocked, but it gave me a map of where my life was leaking. Carlson's book taught me to focus on what I could change, not what I couldn't. So, I zeroed in on the apps that stole my attention and made a rule. No social media before noon. That one move cut my screen time by 2 hours a day instantly. Next, I created what I call phone-free zones. My bedroom was the first. I bought a $10 alarm clock from Target and left my phone in the kitchen at night. No more scrolling until 2 a.m. or checking X first thing in the morning. At first, I felt naked without my phone, like I'd lost a limb, but after a week I was sleeping better, 7 hours instead of 5, and waking up with energy I hadn't felt in years. Carlson's words rang true. Simplify your life, and you simplify your stress. I started leaving my phone in my bag during meals with friends, too. Suddenly, conversations felt deeper. I wasn't just nodding along. I was actually there. Step 3 was replacing bad habits with good ones. I couldn't just cut out scrolling. I had to fill the void with something meaningful. So I started small, 10 minutes of reading every morning. I picked up books like Atomic Habits and Deep Work, but I kept coming back to Carlson's advice. Do one thing at a time and do it well. I set a goal to read 10 pages a day, which turned into 20 books in a year. I also started journaling again, just 5 minutes a night, to dump my thoughts. It was like therapy, but free. I wrote about my wins, my fears, and the life I wanted. That habit alone helped me process the anxiety I'd been numbing with my phone. Then came the game changer. I set boundaries with technology. I used an app called Freedom to block Instagram, TikTok, and X for 4 hours every evening. You can try forest or cold turkey if freedom's not your vibe. The first few days, I was itching to check my phone, but by week 2, I didn't miss it. I also turned off all non-essential notifications. Those little red dots were like sirens calling me to crash. Carlson's book nailed it. The less you react to the small stuff, the more you control your life. By cutting out the noise, I gained 3 extra hours a day to focus on what mattered. My side hustle, my relationships, my mental health. Finally, I tracked my progress like it was a game. Every week, I checked my screen time stats and celebrated the drop, from 12 hours a day to 4 hours in 3 months. I wasn't perfect, but I was proud. I also set rewards for hitting milestones, a new book for every 10 hours cut, a nice dinner out for every month I stuck to my plan. The results were insane. I launched a freelance graphic design gig that brought in $7,000 last year. Money I'd never have made if I was still glued to my phone. I ran a 5K, something I hadn't done since high school. And I rebuilt friendships I'd let fade. My life before was a blur of stress and distraction. Now it felt like a canvas I could paint on. The benefits weren't just numbers. My anxiety dropped. I wasn't waking up with a racing heart anymore. I could focus for hours without checking my phone every 5 minutes. I even started noticing little joys again, like the smell of rain or the way my coffee steamed in the morning. Carlson's wisdom stuck with me. Happiness is a choice you make, not something you find. By letting go of the small stuff, likes, follows, trends, I found space for the big stuff, purpose, connection, peace. This wasn't just about cutting screen time, it was about rewriting my life. The moment I realized I'd reclaimed my life from the grip of distraction, I felt like I'd broken free from chains I didn't even know I was wearing. Don't Sweat the Small Stuff by Richard Carlson was the spark, with one line that still haunts me. Your life is happening right now, not tomorrow. I'd spent years chasing notifications, likes, and trends, thinking they'd fill the void, but they only stole my time. Now, standing on the other side, down to 3 hours of screen time a day, with a side hustle pulling in $10,000 this year and friendships that feel alive again, I'm begging you to stop waiting. Life's too short to let the small stuff rob you of the big moments. Here's your call to action. Take the leap, start today, and don't look back. If you're sitting there scrolling through this video, feeling that nagging sense that you're wasting time, don't ignore it. That's your gut screaming for change. I was you, trapped in a cycle of stress, comparison, and endless feeds. But I'm proof you can break free. Start with one step. Track your screen time for just one day. Open your phone's settings, check the numbers, and face the truth. Mine was 12 hours a day. What's yours? Drop it in the comments below. I want to hear your story. Seeing that number is like staring in a mirror. It's raw, it's real, and it'll light a fire under you. Don't stop there. Pick one thing from my plan and try it. Maybe it's deleting one app for a week, Instagram, TikTok, whatever's got you hooked. Maybe it's leaving your phone out of your bedroom tonight. Or maybe it's reading 10 pages of a book instead of watching another YouTube video. Start small, but start now. Carlson's words are still my mantra. You don't need to be perfect, just present. You don't have to overhaul your life overnight. Just take one step toward a life that feels like yours. And here's the thing, you're not alone in this. Hit that subscribe button and join this community of people who are done sweating the small stuff. We're all figuring it out, one day at a time. Every week, I drop videos like this, real stories, real solutions, real change. Subscribing keeps you in the loop, and trust me, you don't want to miss what's coming next. Share your wins, your struggles, your screen time stats in the comments. Let's hold each other accountable. What's the one thing you're going to do today to take back your time? Tell me. I'm reading every single comment. I know it's scary. Change always is. I was terrified when I deleted Instagram for the first time, worried I'd miss out or lose touch. But what I gained was so much bigger. Clarity, purpose, time to chase dreams I'd buried under notifications. Carlson's book taught me that life isn't about avoiding mistakes. It's about choosing what's worth your energy. So ask yourself, what's worth your energy? Is it another hour on X? Another night lost to Netflix? Or is it the book you've been meaning to read? The friend you've been meaning to call? The dream you've been too distracted to chase? Don't wait for a crisis to wake you up like I did. I lost years to my phone, years I'll never get back. But you don't have to. Right now, at this moment, you have a choice. You can keep scrolling, keep stressing, keep letting the small stuff win, or you can decide that your life is worth more. Grab a notebook. Write down one goal for this week. Maybe it's cutting your screen time by an hour a day, or starting a new habit. Tape it to your fridge, your mirror, somewhere you can't ignore it. Every time you want to give up, remember Carlson's words. Life is a gift, and it's up to you to unwrap it. So, what's it going to be? Are you ready to stop sweating the small stuff and start living for the big stuff? Hit subscribe, drop your screen time in the comments, and let's do this together. Your life's too short to waste another second. Take that first step today, right now, and watch how fast everything changes. What are you waiting for?